PA Harrisburg, AP. In 2018, Dr. Mehmet Oz presented a new line of skincare products to a gathering of supplement distributors in Salt Lake City's Vivint Arena after entering an inflatable sphere. He then put on a hydrating face mask. The audience erupted in cheers. The famous surgeon's presence resembled an extension of the daytime television program, The Dr. Oz Show. His attendance, however, was in support of Usana Health Sciences, the convention's organizer, a Utah-based supplement manufacturer under federal investigation, being sued by its own owners, and being accused of functioning like a pyramid scheme. Oz might have established himself as a surgeon, but as a salesperson, he was extremely wealthy. He is currently attempting to capitalize on his notoriety as the Republican candidate in Pennsylvania's hotly disputed U.S. Senate election, which might determine which party would rule for the remainder of President Joe Biden's term. Whether or not voters perceive the first-time candidate as the reputable doctor they saw on television, or as a persistent shill for products with dubious medical value, may determine the outcome of the election. Dr. Gregory Katz, a cardiologist and assistant professor at the Grossman School of Medicine at New York University, said, "I adore Mehmet Oz, but we did a lot of bull when I worked there." Additionally, Oz, who ceased performing surgeries on patients in 2018, failed to make it obvious to his viewers how closely he collaborated with the businesses. The Oz campaign declined to grant him permission to be interviewed. His campaign claimed in a statement that the program very diligently disclosed its paid partners, as required by federal law. Oz said in a statement, "I am really glad I was able to help so many people by bringing more openness to health and well-being. We had the most popular health show in the world, which motivated millions to take control of their health, and we won 10 Emmys for it." Oz hosted his show for 13 seasons while enjoying the luster of Oprah Winfrey's endorsement. According to a federal financial declaration he filed this year, which offers dollar values in ranges but does not provide particular statistics, it also resulted in a net worth estimated to be between $100 million and $315 million. Oz, who had previously been in the business of trying to draw viewers, removed the majority of those episodes after announcing his campaign in November. According to a copy acquired by the AP, all involved in the production were obliged to sign a non-disclosure agreement that forbids them from discussing Dr. Oz and/or his business or private life, as well as the show's agreements with its advertisers. Usana spokesman Dan McCouga issued a statement saying, "We cannot comment on any figures or deliverables as this would expose items agreed upon in a confidential business atmosphere." Oz was implicated in recent lawsuits that stated he made false statements on the program, which was cancelled after Oz entered the Senate race. One lawsuit was filed by a business that claimed Oz had disparaged its weight reduction program in order to promote a rival that had run advertisements on his show. In an out-of-court settlement, Oz's company, Oz explained his strategy in a different suit. Oz's recommended products at least once caused health issues. After a watchdog group found they contained dangerous amounts of lead, Usana reached a settlement in a California case in 2018. Usana is one of the enterprises he has endorsed that is set up as a multi-level marketing organization, and its actions have frequently caught the attention of federal regulators. Through paying commissions on the products they sell as well as on the sales of friends, family, and co-workers they also recruit to work beneath them in the business, these companies provide distributors with a vision of financial security and freedom. The Federal Trade Commission filed accusations against one company, Vema Nutrition, alleging that it had engaged in a number of misleading acts or practices that were prohibited. In 2012, Oz got into a deal with Usana, claiming to have meticulously vetted the business and praising it for having tremendous integrity. In accordance with the contract, Oz featured a different Usana product on his show each month and offered the brand's goods for sale on his website. Additionally, he consented to participate in corporate events and frequently joined calls with the company's executives. The publicly traded company came to the attention of regulators for the first time in 2007 after a 500-page report was published by Barry Minkoff, a convicted fraudster who later collaborated with the FBI and the SEC to uncover financial crimes. The report claimed the company was an illegal pyramid scheme. In his Usana investigation from 2007, he discovered that, rather than from sales to actual customers, the majority of the company's revenues came from increasing the number of independent associates who were permitted to market their items. Insider accounts and the company's own financial filings served as the foundation for Minkoff's firm's study, which was the subject of extensive at-the-time media coverage. When beginning and operating costs were taken into account, The survey indicated that only 1% of affiliates made a profit, while 87% lost money. About 75% of them left after a year. The results came quickly. Investors and Usana distributors then filed failed lawsuits. Federal investigators were still keeping an eye on the business. A year after coming to an agreement with Oz, Usana reported in 2013 that the SEC was looking into trading violations, and that Myron Wentz, the company's founder, had been served with subpoenas. The SEC did not impose any sanctions. The corporation was under investigation once more by the Justice Department and SEC in 2017 for alleged violations of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, which prohibits bribery in relation to BabyCare, a company subsidiary that operates in China. Both the SEC and the Justice Department declined to comment. After a non-profit organization discovered hazardous amounts of lead in 75 various brands and flavors of powdered drinks, including their Nutrimial meal replacement shake, Usana entered into a settlement in California in 2017. In the summer of 2015, Oz discussed several of the items on his program and ran a sweepstakes that included a giveaway of 1,000 bags of the supplement. Usana agreed to pay $275,000 and promised to reduce the amount of lead in the powdered drink or add a warning label to any items sold in California that still contained substantial amounts of lead. Oz has made efforts to leave his connections behind as he runs for the Senate. Two former staff members of the show who insisted on anonymity because they had signed non-disclosure agreements said that Oz's political aides took control of his website and deleted show video that had been preserved there. Over the years, some passages have been mentioned in news articles written by skeptics. In one from 2015, Oz recommended a liver cleansing vitamin to a woman who was worried about her previous drinking, adding, "I'll show you one that I really enjoy." 2018 saw yet another YouTube video promoting Vision X. Oz referred to a Usana scientist that I trust for this subject who appeared in the TV studio after claiming that the product could re-nourish the eyes and combat the loss of eyesight. You want everyone to have good eyes? Oz subsequently questioned the crowd before announcing that each attendee would receive a free bottle of the supplement. Unlike other episodes of Oz's show, this one is still accessible online. He marketed the products of other businesses that have also come under regulatory inquiry. In or about 2005, Oz got to know Benson Barreco, the man behind Vema Nutrition and New Vision International, both of which the FTC later sued. Between those court disputes, Oz advertised a Vema product, and Barreco served on the board of a charity that Oz formed and to which Vema had donated money. Before Oz and Barreco met, the first FTC lawsuit was brought in 1998 and focused on what it deemed to be unfounded claims by New Vision International that its product might treat attention deficit/hyperactivity disorder. The second, which surfaced in 2015, said that Vema Nutrition was a fraudulent pyramid enterprise. In both cases, the firms reached settlements but made no admissions of guilt. In addition to speaking at 3 of Vema's yearly conventions, Oz took part in marketing calls with those who had signed up to sell the items. According to allegations made by the firm, Vema's promotional materials at one conference stated that Oz would teach Vema brand partners about nutrition in a small and participatory, town hall-style event. Oz also made public announcements about Vema's goods. On his show, on social media, and in other places, he highlighted one of them, the energy drink Verve. In a 2013 episode, he mentioned it as one of his favorite fatigue-fighting snacks. "It's one that gets me through the day," 1 handful of almonds and half a Verve energy drink in his diet recommendations for health. Both recommendations eventually appeared in Vema's advertising materials. The partnership between Oz and Barreco went beyond product endorsements on his show to HealthCore, a non-profit organization formed by Oz in 2003 with the goal of enhancing health instruction in schools. From 2008 until 2013, Vema was noted as a donor in HealthCore annual reports, and Barreco joined the organization's board of directors. According to the non-profit consumer protection group Truth in Advertising, Vema contributed HealthCore more than $1 million, and Oz, in part, recommended Verve on his show as a result of Vema's donations. Like Donald Trump before him, Oz has a public presence that appeals to some voters. Eileen Walker, a supporter of alternative medicine from the Warminster suburb of Philadelphia, is one of these supporters. Walker, 75, claimed that she absolutely followed his counsel because he always had folks on there to back him up, who had research on why you want to take this drug or that pill, or eat this way or not eat that way. With one crucial exception, Oz's promotion function is a long tradition of TV pitchmen. But because what was happening was not immediately apparent, he continued, Oz's show is much different. Overt versus covert is the difference. The Usana Dr. Oz show was not the name of it, he said. He gained your confidence. You went to the doctor once a year. You went to Dr. Oz every day.